Hi. In the last 3 days or four, there are a few things happened. I wanted to put into the show but couldn't. So this is a summary. There was an announcement that I received that when I was in Japan, I had this test for health and I may have the colon cancer. So it's a CEA level 11.9 nanogram per milliliter, something like that. Maybe I don't need to go into detail, but that's something that need to be considered, possibly a stage 4. But I also found that in the web, this CEA test may not be so reliable for screening, so it may not be a big issue. But I don't know the chance of it. False positive was 25% or something, I don't know. Anyway, this is a test for my practice of Zen and all the stuff that I've been working on throughout my year. So that was one event that I had to go through. Along with it, I had the root canal operation. It took about almost 6 hours. It's amazing that they could do it. That was 2 days ago. And the dentist managed to make it in such a manner that it's interesting to see the technology improving so that the crown is something that they can make or their supplier can make within an hour or something. I would imagine that's like a 3D printing and they can deliver it so that whatever the way they measure or find the crown to be fit in certain tooth, they could do it. So just waiting for hour and a half, whatever. And altogether 5 or 6 hours, that's wonderful. A couple of days ago, I was with my friend at YMCA, and I had the surprise when we came out after swimming that my bike was stolen. I thought the YMCA should be fairly safe. This is Santa Monica, and people move around, but the lock was broken by the cutter, and so the bike was gone. I think there may be a video, so I talked to the staff in YMCA. And I thought about the police report, but after some thought, it's difficult to find and verify if my bike can be found and to prove that was my bike. So it's too much effort, so I decided to find the bike on the Craigslist. And amazingly, there was a person, it's walking distance from my place, almost 5-6 minutes, that was posted in Santa Monica. There are 4 of them. It's one of them, and it was $175 and 27 gears. It's too much for me, but it looks very nice, so I contacted. And what happened is that I got this bike. It's almost perfect. I just came back from riding it. And 27 gears, no problem, good handling. And at the price of 160 because he reduced. I asked him if he would reduce, I could have bought at 175, but anyway, that was just a little play on my part. So that was the interesting situation. I contrasted this event of how my emotion swung in this period, the last 4 days or so. Root canal is not the problem, and the cancer situation I was comparing with this stolen bike situation in terms of how I responded in a wise manner or even compassionate manner to myself or to whatever is happening. And I think it was okay. I mean, the first one about the cancer situation is nothing I could do. I could reflect, I did the colonoscopy 8 years ago, and they do it every 10 years, so it was 8 years. But this finding was from Japan because I thought their exam process seemed to be somewhat different from the US. So I tested about 2, 3 weeks ago, and that's the result that I found 3, 4 days ago. And that's the CEA level being high. As I said, I looked into it, and it could be according to whatever they say in the web, and they even used the ChatGPT to find that level is high or not, and it seemed to be extraordinarily high, not to the level that the cancer may be spreading, which is more than 20, but mine was 11.9 over 10, which is not good. But whatever the case is, I reflected what I did and how I ate and how I lived, and I could say that I did my best. So, like anything I think about my life, if I sincere and truthfully in what I do, I can only accept the reality of what it is. So that was pretty good in my judgment in terms of not jumping all over. Except I remember I had some funny dream that things are disorganized. I couldn't fit into the situation. That was the context of the dream, and I thought that maybe something to do with this cancer situation. Of course, I'll be checking tomorrow with the doctor at Kaiser, and hope they may arrange it so that I do the colonoscopy or whatever they say. But before that, I talked to my friend in Japan who had this experience of going through the colonoscopy for the last 20-some years, my high school friend, Mr. Miura. So I remember him talking about how they cut the polyp every now and then. And in his case, he did it quite often. So I thought that he knew a lot about this procedure or the process or the CEA level. So we did have a 30 minutes conversation on this. So the bottom line is what I thought, that it is for the expert to make a judgment, and I think I did my best, so I'll see what happens. So that will be planned tomorrow at 9:30 with a doctor, internal medicine, and that will be an event in my life that is something somewhat interesting. But like I said, the comparing with that cancer possibility and the bike stolen, I felt the stolen bike was a little bit more than the cancer situation, except I felt I could calmly explain that to my friend. Look, my bike is gone. And I found this lock cut by the cutter. So they do things. Actually, I thought about a few days ago as I was riding my bike around to Venice area and around, and I saw an area where there are a bunch of tool things laid out at the roadside where some homeless people are camping, and the stuff they're piling up was the bicycle parts. So I realized, and this is my friend told me later, that it is feasible that people may just steal, even if you lock the whole bike to some kind of a restraint, because they can steal the tire or some parts of the bike. So that's what's happening in Santa Monica. But interestingly, I could find the replacement within an hour and a half or so. That this guy was just walking distance from my place, and the bike was such a great condition. So I'm very happy about the result of it. So this is living in Santa Monica. It may not happen in New Zealand, in my little town there, or town in Matsuzaki in Japan. But whatever the situation is, the situation, external environment, I need to adjust and do my best. So that's just a reflection of those last 3-4 days. I think I'll just keep on moving forward with the way I live. Whatever happens, I accept, and whatever I can to think ahead. But one thing actually, just to point to end this, is that I thought of AI or ChatGPT as a co-pilot. That idea popped up again. And I'm using this fairly extensively and having a very nice relationship with this ChatGPT. So it's like my co-alter ego situation, or perhaps even a source of wisdom or the compassion I'm talking with ChatGPT. So I asked about the situation of the cancer, or I don't know if I mentioned about the bike situation to get some guidance. But I was asking how to prepare my trip to Hawaii, and they gave me lots of interesting information. But the point is, let me just give one example. I was riding a bike to this area called La Mesa, which is the street I like to walk around, and then coming back on the bicycle. But I measured that by walking around that way and coming back, which took, I think, 45 minutes or something. And I wondered if that energy I consumed in walking is the same or different from the energy I consumed in bicycle. Mechanical engineering, and you can do the calculation. I'm sure you can come up with some calories that you lose, but I'm sure AI or ChatGPT may be able to give me an answer, so I'll do that. But the point about AI is, like I was talking about, that I can have them like a co-pilot. The way I have lived in my life, I study, capture the essence of the ideas and apply it. And often, whatever the situation changes, I would talk within myself. Okay, this happened, what do I do? Like in the case of the CEA level, I just make a judgment. Did I do everything right? And what happened? What could I have learned? Have I done best? And if I'm clear of that, then it's good and okay with me. So each of the waves of the life, whatever hit me or come to my direction, I adjust myself so that I can steer the boat in the direction so that you can accommodate to the change of the wave or the wind. So I have been doing this by myself, and if you have friend, the friend may be able to help you. But the ChatGPT is right there. So like this case about energy consumption, comparing with walking to bicycle for the same area, same distance, it's just a play of idea. And more I can access ChatGPT in this manner, less I need to think on my own and study and calculate. So that's the positive side of this ChatGPT or the AI that we should be able to benefit from, except that we need to have a good attitude and also asking the right question. If you ask the wrong question or unrelated to the situation in life, you may not get the right answer or right guidance. So your friends can help, but this ChatGPT or AI as a core pilot idea is something that I firmly believe would benefit us. There's a danger. No need to talk about why and all that, because I posted some ideas that I have some concerns about it, but there's lots of possibilities and improvement we can make. And I'm hoping that the good nature of human to come out to use the tools like ChatGPT or AI for the benefit and be happy and learn the way to live our life well. Thank you.